Okay, so today's lesson, we're only going to finish the front page of your notes, and I think we're only going to go to example 5 today. So our goal is we're going to hit examples 1 through 5. Then tomorrow, on the 3rd, we'll finish the second part of the notes. So right here it says distributive property. We're going to use the rectangle model to distribute. So what you guys need to know is that you're going to use these numbers here, put it on your area model or on your rectangle, and then you're going to solve. You're going to find the area you're going to distribute. This front number here is going to represent what of our area model or what of our rectangle? What do you think this 3 is going to represent?
The height.
The height. So the front number or group of numbers is going to represent your height. So what's the height? 3. My second group of numbers then is going to represent what? The what? The width. And you're going to keep them in order. So what comes first here?
40.
So that's going to be my first width. Okay, so then what's my second width going to be?
5.
Okay, so we've taken our numbers, we've labeled our rectangles, and so now we can find the area of each rectangle. So I come into my rectangle, area equals what times what here?
3 times 4e.
Because we're going to take the height times the width, which equals
12e.
Okay. And then we find the area of my second section of my rectangle. So again, I come area equals, what's my height?
3
Times my width,
5
which equals,
15.
okay,
Wait, height? You spell height? Oh, height.
height. I don't know if that's spelled right. Like we like argued about it this morning, first hour, and I forgot to go back and check it. Okay. Now, I want to know the total area of the figure. Can I combine 12e plus 15? No. So my final answer is actually going to be 12e plus 15. Now, where I want you to write your answer, come up to the right of your problem. You're going to put equals and then 12e plus 15, and you're going to box it. Every single time that you do an area model like this, your answer will always be written in this format. It just looks so weird. Okay, we're going to be starting example number 2 in just a second. So come up to the right, equals, that's where you're going to put your answer. Start right while you're waiting. You can start writing some. We all got it? Okay. One more. Okay, so example number 2. What's different about this example compared to the first example?
The variables on outside the parentheses.
Okay, we have a variable on the outside of parentheses. Anything else? Yeah, we have a -5 or a -5. Okay. So my first number represents the what?
The height.
And my second number or group of numbers represents the... Okay. So if my first number represents the height, Kaylin, what number do I put here?
4.
Okay. And what about here for my first width?
3.
And then my second width? What kind of 5 is that? Now, if we were actually using this to find the area, my area of this section isn't going to be a -5. This is just a visual model that's helping us learn to factor a little bit better. Okay, so once I do that, I'm ready to find the area of each section. So I come into my section. I'm going to take area equals John C. What do I plug in here?
3 times,
No.
4f times 5f.
No?
4f times 3f.
3f. So we're going to take our height times our width. Okay? Now, you could do your width times your height, but for the sake of what we're learning, you always want to do height, then width. You'll find, because every time that I write this out, my height will always be this spot, my width will always be this spot. When we go back into harder lessons, you're going to be trying to find the missing numbers, and it's easier if you always know which spot's height, which spot's width. Okay? So what's 4F times 3F?
12F squared.
Perfect. Okay, John C., I want you to try this next one here. So I have area equals, what do I plug in first?
4F
Times?
negative 5.
There we go. So you can either write it like times -5, or you can just put it in parentheses like this. Either way, it doesn't matter. I do not want to see an x used as a negative, or an x used as a multiplication sign. So what's 4F times -5?
Negative 20F.
Nice. Now, I'm ready to find the total area. Can I combine these two terms?
No.
Are these the same? No. You're right, Jalen, and whoever else said no. Because this variable has a square, this variable is just an f. So they're not the same. They're not like terms. So our final answer is actually just going to be,
12F to the second.
yep,
Minus 20F.
perfect.
Thank you.
What's another way of saying to the second power?
Squared.
Squared. Good. Nice job. Now, what do you notice about the next two examples compared to the first two examples? It's got 4 boxes. So what does that tell us if it has 4 boxes?
Multiplication.
It's going to have 4 areas. We're going to multiply 4 different times. What else? How many heights am I going to have?
2,
And then how many widths am I going to have?
1, 2.
All right, give me just one more minute and we'll get it. So equals. I want your answer up here. So bring this answer right up here to the right of that. Okay. Now, what's wrong with my picture compared to your picture? Why will my picture not work?
Because you only have 2 boxes already.
I have 2 boxes here,
Oh.
but what's the problem still? I have 2 boxes at the top to represent my width,
Oh, you have 4
the
numbers.
height.
but I only have 1 height. So I actually need that shape. Okay, so the first number or set of numbers is still going to be my what? This is still going to be identified as my, what always comes first, you guys? Height. Then what always comes second? The width. Now, keep them in order. So what I mean by that, what's my first height?
2G.
So that's going to go for my first top section. Okay? What's my second height number?
1.
So that's going to go right below it. Now my width comes here. So what's my first width?
3G.
And then my second one.
4. And then you.
So then, as John was saying, we're going to go find the area of each section. I like to go left to right. So
2G times 3G.
Equals 6G squared.
good teamwork. Nice job, guys. Okay. Next one.
2G. I mean, yeah, 2G times 4G.
No, no,
I
no.
mean 4.
There you go. Which equals?
Which equals?
8. 8G.
8 what?
G.
You're such a brat.
It's like the always in.
What's the bottom left? Area equals? What's my height?
1,
Times my width?
4. I mean 3.
3 what?
G.
Which equals?
3G.
And my last one. Area equals what's my height?
1.
Times my width?
4.
Which equals?
4.
Okay. Good.
Wait, what? Oh, there goes multiplication.
Okay. So I'll give you a second to get these written in. Once you write those in, start thinking about finding the total area for the entire model. We do that by finding and adding all the numbers together, but we can only add them together if they have like terms.
Right. Oh, I got to like turn.
Okay, what are they?
3G and 8G.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just circle the 3G and 8G. That means I'm going to combine them together. So can I combine the 6G squared with
No,
anything?
because you got squared.
So I'm going to come up to the right. I'm going to go ahead and put 6G squared. Then what comes next?
Do 3 times 8.
How about plus?
I mean, huh?
Because you're adding them.
Oh yeah, my fault.
What?
Plus, yeah, 11.
11 what?
11G.
Perfect. And my last number?
Plus 4.
What? Plus 4, yes. Miss Malone, if you heard that snoring in the background, that was your daughter Morgan snoring through my class.
I was not asleep.
Is that Post Malone?
My son loves Post Malone right now.
All
Alright, we all have it? We have all of our work done. We have our final answer. Our final answer is box. Alright.
Mortgage.
Example number 4.
What's that?
Go ahead and start it. So example number 4 is h plus 7
Can we stop on example 4?
after example 5 times 2h minus 5. So right next to example number 4, you're going to want to write h plus 7 times 2h minus 5. Kaylin, what's my first group of numbers represent? And my second group? Okay. So what do I write right here, where I put the x? What goes there?
X.
What goes there? H. What goes below it? What's my next height? Okay. Then what's my first width? What's my second width? Okay. Now when I have a variable by itself, I think I'm out of that. There's some up
I
there.
got the answer. It's gonna be 2H squared.
Good. So tell me how you got it. So you put
2H.
area equals what?
2H.
No.
Times.
What's your height? Times.
2H.
Which then equals,
2H squared.
okay. What could you put in front of a variable to give it a numerical? Yeah, you could put a 1 there. You don't have to. All right. John B. This next one. What's my height? Oh wait. So, John B. What's my height?
It's gonna be H. Yes.
And then what's my width?
-5.
-5. Which equals?
-5H.
Perfect. Sean. What's my height? Times my width? Which equals? Did I mess up? Alright. And then bottom right. Morgan, what's my height? Times my width. Which equals? Good. What are my like terms here?
14H and -5H.
14h and -5h. What number do I put down first when I go to write my...
2H squared.
Okay, so 2h squared. This is tricky now, because you're going to take -5h plus 14, or you can look at it as 14 plus -5, which is going to be what, Kaylin?
9H.
Positive or negative? Positive 9h. Nice job. And then what am I left with that I need to put in? -35. And there's my final answer.
We're done, class.
All right, flip it over. We're going to do one more example problem, and then we're going to stop on note taking for the day, and I'm going to give you your worksheet.
I did 14 times -5.
Plus. Remember, because you're trying to find the section all together. All right. Oh my gosh, what is this? Example number 5. 2j plus 7 parentheses squared.
That's what I'm doing.
think it's gonna start getting harder.
I keep my promises.
I can't.
I do. So 2j plus 7 squared. Go ahead and write that down. What is another way to write this?
2J plus 7 squared. 7 times 7?
You just said.
No, I'm just playing, bro.
Keep guessing.
2J plus 7 squared.
How about if this is being squared, it means we're basically taking 2j plus 7 times itself, right? So if I take 2j plus 7 times itself, it's going to be 2j plus 7 times 2j plus 7.
Oh, so what you said?
That's all that means.
No. So what she said is that the on the height is gonna be 2J, and then on the other height is gonna be 7.
No, not my other height, my width.
With.
Okay.
So, listen,
So what's my height here?
2J. And then the other
What's my other height?
7.
And then what's my width?
That's all it's something.
Oh, I'm okay. What's my width?
2J,
And my other width?
7.
Okay. Now we go through and we find our areas. Area equals what?
2J times 2J equals 4J.
Squared.
Nice. Okay. The area of the second rectangle. Anybody? Tamara, you're out.
It should be Joe because that's not hard.
Right? Knock yourself out then.
Oh.
A equals 7.
Always do what first? Always do your height first.
2J
2J
times 7.
Which
Which
equals?
equals 14J.
Michelle.
All right. Bottom left.
You don't have one.
Bottom left. John C. You've been really quiet today. What do I plug in here?
7 times 2J.
Which equals?
14J.
And bottom right.
7 times 7 equals 49.
What are my like terms?
14J, both of them.
Okay. John, you're out.
Jelly, you're up.
All right. How am I going to write my final answer? I do not want to hear from Tamara.
4J
John.
squared
Okay.
plus, what's that? 14. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. My couch. Why curse? 28.
28 what?
J.
Then what?
Plus 49.
Then what?
Boss your ass. Chill.
That was really good. That was perfection.